Let's go behind the mask.
What up, man? What's happening? Yo, we really just had to come together because we put out a poll
Mhm.
to our viewers, to our listeners, and they wanted to know about the AB situation.
Yep.
Been doing a little traveling as this time of the year, that's what it requires. But two, you know, we got to give the people what they want. And they
Facts.
want to know about our perspective, our opinions on the AB saga.
Hmm.
So I don't know, man. It was very unique for me because I'll tell you, I was working on Sunday covering the Niners,
Hmm.
covering them, and the thing that was crazy, I got a text. Somebody said, "Yo, AB at it again," and I'm like, "Nah, man, quit. You man, I'm
Right,
working. I'm
right.
working right now." Go back to my phone after the show was over, and I was like, "Damn, Shawty really tripping."
Hmm.
And so like I'm trying to get the benefit of the doubt because I ain't never seen. Listen, this dude took his shoulder pads off, took his shirt off, went to the locker room, pulled the Dennis Rodman running, doing jumping jacks while he was going in. And so for me, I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
So immediately I'm starting to think he ain't gonna play no more. Like he just ain't. And
Yeah.
so, but as we continue to read a little bit more into it too, the thing that was surprising was, you hear reports about exchanges was had on the sideline,
Hmm.
but the big thing for me was you just don't leave
Yeah.
your team while they're playing. Like Vontae Davis did it at halftime.
Hmm. Hmm.
So damn, at least wait till the game is over.
Give
Like
us a heads
so for
up.
me, so I'm thinking like, what's happening?
Yeah, man. You know what's crazy, man? And when I saw it watching the games on Sunday, and I thought to myself, yo, are we gonna talk about this? And like you said, we put up the poll, and I honestly I didn't want to talk about it. I was just like, I'm over it. It seems like another bad rerun that we've seen time and time again, and from an incredible talent. But shout out to our homie Kareem Harris, CEO of Social Excellence. Shout
Yeah,
out to Dion Grant. He's the captain at the NFL Trust. Our homie Carlos Emmons, DJ Class. A bunch of people that we talked to about Antonio Brown, and we had different varying thoughts about it. But for me, I'm thinking like, yo, I've seen this before. The timeline, you know what I mean? Who's exited the NFL football field, the stage like that? Aside from basketball players, we see basketball cats do that all the time. They get their second technical foul, they get mad, take off the shirts. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Rodman and everybody. But
yeah.
you haven't seen that in the football field. So I was like, and is AB again? I was over it. And like I said, the timeline, it's happened before.
And so to your point, when you talk about the timeline,
Mm-hmm.
it's let's go back to when he was in Pittsburgh
Yeah.
and he goes Facebook Live in front of everybody
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
after
Mm-hmm.
a game to where you just won and the head coach is giving his speech.
Mm-hmm.
He's spilling the tea.
Yeah.
And bro, I'm like, bro, are you dumb? What are
Yeah.
you doing? The next year, he gets rewarded with the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Tomlin came out and said, I'm not going to punish our own.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I didn't really understand that, bro, because he actually said we're not going to punish ourselves. I
Yeah.
didn't understand that because for me, I felt like it was rewarding a certain type of behavior. And it clearly says, like, regardless of how good you're a great player. And it kind of goes back to the point of like what Bill Parcells said. He said, look, I'm gonna treat all of you guys fair, but I'm not going to treat all of you the same.
Yeah.
And that was made in reference with Lawrence Taylor
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of the team. And so that's how I felt with that. Now, moving on from that, after he signed the deal extension, then goes on to Oakland.
Yeah, it got broke off at Oakland.
Got paid at
Got paid.
Oakland now,
Facts.
paid. And you know what? Let me pull that up. I just want to pull that up because that's important to add to it. When he went to Oakland, he was going to be averaging he signed a 3-year, $50 million deal.
Mhm.
Going to be averaging 16 a year. Total guarantees 30 mil. And he never even played a snap. He never got in one snap for the regular season. And eventually all of the drama that came to that started from him getting into a cryotherapy chamber, which I don't know the exact temperature, but I do know they supposed to go like less than 30 degrees below zero.
But you're supposed to have socks and all of that on.
But he got on with no socks or anything. Yeah. So I'm like, what genius is going to do that? Mm-hmm. So then we go to, he keeps going through Oakland, feet heel, complaining about the helmet after they gave out plenty enough time to figure out what type of helmet. And I would like to say he also secured a personal deal on that. But that didn't work out. He confronted the GM, and that's when they decided to let him go. I remember when they decided to let him go, I remember him having it on Facebook Live again. It was on social media, and I remember him dancing like, I'm free, because they finally released him so he can go to another team. So like, bro, free? Are you doing it? Well, what's free? You're right. Yeah. Because you look at the situation that he's in now, they're not cutting you just as of yet. It seems to me that they're making sure that, one, they're going to do everything from a legality state of mind. And then two, if whatever they can get out of you, they're going to get out of you and try to get it back paid. Yeah. You know what I mean? So for me, big picture, man, after he did that in Oakland, that's a lot of bread to be blown away, bro. Left it on the table, 30 mil.
And I said, you got to either be a plum fool or a dumbass to leave that type of bread on the table. Said it on a BTM podcast 2 years ago, Spikes, and we still talking about it.
Yep. And I remember the picture after that happened. He was at home, runs outside, says, I'm free. Enjoy. Then he goes to the Patriots after that. Tom Brady stepped up, walked the plank for him. And as the year went on, making plays, and then a young lady comes out and says, she got it. She said that he was threatening her. Mm-hmm. The Patriots already had their rule and their mind made up. If you're not going to abide by what we say, and if you get into one more thing, then you're gone. Right. That happened. He ended up now back in free agency, ended up signing with Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. Through the season. So
Brady again.
Yeah, so he's with Brady again. So clearly it tells you Brady is like, he really decides on how the roster is formed. Yeah. No different than LeBron James of the Lakers. Mm-hmm. So when you look at that and you see he's with Tampa, you're like, all right, now has a clean year, wins a Super Bowl. Yeah. Turns around the next year and get yammed up again about a vaccination card. Yep. And I get it. Whatever your personal opinion is on it, live it. I'm fine with that. However, you got to live in your truth. He didn't. Lied about it, was suspended several games. And now it leads all up to what we started this conversation off with about the Jets in New Jersey, pulling your shirt off while it's already cold. And for me, when you see all of that, bro, I either think one thing. Either you can't do it, meaning stay out of trouble, or you don't give a fuck about doing it. Yeah. And I've always been taught that, and it's a simple saying, but it's so true. And so now, when I hit you up, obviously you felt different, but I we want to bring it to the table. So what's your thoughts on it?
You know what? In that timeline, the first thing everybody thought was, damn, not again. Because you see the imagery of him taking the shirt off, running off the field and all of that, bringing attention to himself. So as things start to come about, people was on social media and even, again, shout out to Deion Grant saying there's something more there. It might be, Deion, I don't believe Deion said this, but it may be something to do with mental health. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady even came out and said.
Deion actually did.
He did say that? Yeah, the group text he said that. And then Tom Brady came out and said whatever help he needs, he hopes he gets it, right? So, and I'm not discrediting that. And if it is an issue indeed with mental health, by all means, you will hope the man gets the help that he needs or the assistance that he needs and sticks with it. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that for me, watching all of this transpire, we talked about the timeline of it. I felt like people were using that word and that frame in that context, I should say, almost as a crutch. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what you're capable of doing on the field. And one thing we always said, and even Carlos said, he was prided on all the off-field antics never affected his game on the field. Obviously,
that was one of the things he took pride in.
Yeah, took pride in. So he could do whatever he wanted off the field because that's his time. But on the field, he still was an assassin on the field, killing people years and years. One of the best receivers of our time. But when you're talking about mental health, if that indeed is the situation, and the reason I didn't care was because, like, right after the game, after you leave, the first thing you do is post on social media your new single, right? By all means, do it. But then on social media, you also post something with a clothing brand that you're dealing with, right? We know Spikes with social media, what we got to do. If we got a sponsorship, we literally got to put these posts out to make sure that we get the impressions that we get for our sponsors.
So what you're saying is it was planned.
You're cognitive in knowing what you're doing.
All right, that's what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Because even after whatever happened on the sideline happened, he still was able to go to a social media account and send off what he needed to send off. If he didn't do it and he don't manage an account, he damn sure approved it. You know what I'm saying? Then okay, you off the field, off the no longer playing. You kick it in New York. All of that's well and good. But at the same time, if you're doing all of this, you're very cognitive of your plans of how you're navigating through this period of your life. You can't tell me otherwise. You can't tell me that was just an incident that happened on the field and you don't have to address it, but you're not addressing it and moving on to the next one, talking about social media, talking about your clothing brand that you're dealing with, posting at you at the next game with KD, posting with Fabulous. Yo, bro, if you don't care, that's why I said I don't care. What is the point of me sitting there jumping off the bridge, repping for AB? Because I want all the players to win. You know that we want our guys to go out there and make as much money as possible. Hall of Fame talent, make the Hall of Fame, do whatever you got to do. But if you're showing that you don't have no contrition in the matter, yo, so be it. I don't. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I felt. But we talked about him going off the field in the manner he went off the field. This is not the first time it happened. It happened when I was with the Saints. Willie Roaf, Hall of Fame player, prior to the game, he decided he had an incident with Jim Haslett, head coach. He walks out the field literally before the game.
During the game?
Pre-game warm-ups, before the game.
But that's not during the game.
I'm putting it together.
Okay.
Before the game, left us. And the reason I know that was the first time I was active because it was like the tackle was there. Tutan, you're up. I'm like,
Two got a chance to play.
So I got a chance to play. So Willie's out. We didn't see him again for a couple of months till he signed with the Chiefs. Kyle Turley got in an incident on the field against the Jets.
Yep.
Remember, he ripped off the kid's helmet, threw the helmet in the stands, and F you and everything, walks off the field. You know what I mean? But neither time when all of this stuff happened did anybody scream mental health. Hell, I walked off the field my rookie year, but I ain't beat my chest. Granted, I was a rookie and got into it.
Yeah, thank you for adding that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I wasn't even playing at the time. But what I'm saying is that that's not uncommon for people to go off the field. Cool. But what is uncommon is for you to beat your chest, take your shirt off, again, in the freaking New Jersey in the winter, cold as hell.
January, by the way.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you know what you're doing. And I don't think it was because of mental health. I could be wrong. I don't think it was because of mental health. I think that's what he wanted to do. Just like you said, Facebook Live. My Facebook is about me. Not about our team. It's about me and what I'm doing with the team. Leaving the if you had an issue on the field, yo, state your case. Either stay on the field if you don't want to stay on the field. Like I said, I walk off, be gone. But you doing all the extra stuff, bringing the attention back to you. You know what you're doing.
But see, that's where I disagree with you on that. I do feel like, and I'm not using it as a crutch, I think he's aware to some degree of what he's doing. Like, I'm gonna say that straight out top. Because when I saw it, remember going back to when I was at work, I was like, man, this dude, he's crazy. He's like, this is another level of stupidity. But my point to you, dog, is you got to keep in mind, he had $1 million on the line as far as incentives. Easily attainable incentives. Did with catches, touchdowns, yards that he easily could have got. And you can say, well, he can't control it. Tom Brady was going to make sure he got it.
He did it last year.
He did it last year. So I don't want to hear that. So my point is, I'm saying, brother, if you got $1 million, I know how hard it is to make $1 million. Do you know how hard it is to make $1 million?
Absolutely.
So with that being said, he knows as well. And you're going to turn it down after all of this work. And keep in mind, he's already a one-time Super Bowl champion. Now you're still on a team who really got a chance to do back-to-back. Like, you got a chance to be legendary and really cement yourself in history when it comes to the best wide receivers of the game without an asterisk.
And the crazy part about the whole incentive thing, Spikes, that's at first we thought.
So if you give up that money, my point, if you give that money up, like, something got to be wrong. Like, what? Listen, you can't write the damn gas person and say, I ain't got it this month, dog. No, man, bro, you got a chance to change, man, your trajectory of your family, your generational family. You talk about breaking generational curses. Man, we got a curse we can break right now. Why not finish it and become legendary? That's why I disagree with you on that.
You know what? And to your point about the money aspect, that's not uncommonplace to where either the flip side of it of a player not getting an opportunity to meet those incentives. Remember, initially some reports came out saying, "Oh, he got benched because he wasn't going to go back on the field," and they knew the Bucs and Coach Arians knew that he had these incentives coming up, and that's not uncommonplace. So the one thing I did say in his defense, if it was about that money, if it was about the incentives and he got benched because he wasn't going to receive that money, I understand why he did that. Would I have done it in that matter? No, but I understand if somebody's screwing, like you said, somebody fucking with your money, your money or your lady. Those are two things, or your kids. Those three things that you're gonna go to war about.
Right.
So, and you can't control that when that trigger snaps. You feel me? But I think that if that was the case, that's not uncommonplace in the NFL. They did it to me when I was in Buffalo. I told you that I started 5 games. I had one game to make $250,000. One more start. I got injured. I had one more start when I came back. They was like, "Nah, we're going with the youth movement. One more game, 250. 3 more games starting, 500. 5 more games starting, 750. Yeah, that was good money left on the table. But when the team knows that they're no longer dealing with you and you're not with them for the foreseeable future, they're gonna pull that rug from up under you.
And that happened to you.
That happened to me. That happened to Stephen Davis. He had 12 touchdowns one year. He needed like 2 more to make $1 million. Played 13 games, killing. Every time he got on the field, scored a touchdown, put him on IR. He's like, "Yo, ain't nothing wrong with me." But that's what the league does. So in that aspect, I understand. But then his camp didn't come out and say that. His camp came out and said it was because of the injury. If that's the case, if it is indeed because of an injury and you didn't feel you were ready to play, what's the point of addressing that and saying that and chilling on the sidelines? Is it because Coach Arian allegedly said, "Oh, if you ain't gonna get back in, you out"? And if that's the case, I understand it. I understand him leaving, but I don't understand the whole antics and everything like that. Like, it just, for me, it left a sour. I ain't gonna say, you know what? It didn't leave a sour taste in my mouth, but it just was like, "Yo, bro, what you doing?" Like, either way, what are you doing? If you want to still, the writers literally make up your bid to make the NFL, right?
Yep.
You know this.
Yeah.
The coaches, the GMs, everything dictates your pay and all of that. If you cool with it, and again, you don't care, again, I don't care. I'm happy for you. However, if there's an issue, you come back out kind of like you did a couple years later saying, "I want to play again." It's like, "Oh, really? Really? We going through this saga again?" And which AB are we going to believe? The one that's contrite, that wants to get out there, that came back to the Bucs last year and did what he had to do to stay on the field and play, win the Super Bowl?
See, but let me challenge you, right?
AB that's coming back and doing additional stuff to not be on the field. Like, bro, that's your thing. If you don't want to do it again and you want to kick it with the rappers and the ball players, by all means, love, do that. But if not, say that.
But let me ask you this, though. This is the other important thing. Tom Brady came out in his pod and he said, we as people should be compassionate and have a lot of empathy for AB because he wants him to get not just the help. He wants him to get the help he needs.
Right.
So it lets me know there's a lot more to uncover there. But you still feel the same way, like he's still aware of it. I think he's aware of it. I will say some of it.
Because guess what?
But I do think, like, dog, for you to turn down that bread, bro, and like, I'm not saying money drives a whole lot of things around here.
Yep.
And if you say it doesn't, you are an idiot. But it does. And it means a lot. And sometimes you know, everybody got somebody to answer to, I guess is what I'm saying. But you got it that good to where initially you went to Oakland and you had a $50 million deal, and you look at that, and then you ended up and signed for 30, and you still not he ain't motivated by money.
He's not motivated by money, and that's one thing I've always said, that the most powerful thing in this world is a man or a woman that is not motivated and swayed by money. Because the one thing they always try to do is get in your pockets when you mess up as an adult, particularly as a professional athlete. If you do something that's against the rules, or you break the code of conduct, what have you, it's not like high school or college where they can run you till you're tired and you learn your lesson. It's like, nah, they got to do something to impact you as a man, and they hit your pockets. Just like anything else with a divorce, you got alimony. With you have a child out of wedlock and you're not with the woman, you got child support. They go after your pockets. So the most powerful thing in the world is a man that's not motivated by money. Now, with that, you know what your decision is, and you know the consequences for your decision. That's why I said cognitively he knows. If we're talking about whatever help this man needs, after the timeline you just laid out for us a couple minutes ago, you mean to tell me from then to now, to Dion's point, he hasn't had the help, or people haven't given him the help or offered him the help that he needs? And this, I would think, how a cognitive effort to say maybe, no, I'm cool, I don't want it. Nah, I'm gonna do my thing. I'm AB, everything, whatever it might be. And if that's the case, it's an effort that he knows, which means he doesn't care. So why the hell should we care? That's what I'm saying. It's all coming back to that. Are you, and again, forgive my ignorance, if it is something with mental health and you're not aware of it, that's something I'm not knowledgeable about. So, I don't know anybody that's dealt with that on that level. But there are some straight up. So
why are you so adamant about it?
Because I know a lot of assholes and idiots out there. I know a lot of idiots out there. I know a lot of homeboys from Florida, a lot of homeboys from New York, a lot of homeboys from Georgia. That's straight idiots that don't care. Some of us in our media crew, we said if they got the money that we got in the NFL, how would they act? Like a straight ass, and that's why you smiling, because And there's some cats like that. So why can't that be like, yo, bro, maybe he just on his own move? And that's cool. But like you said, living your truth. Whatever that truth is, living it. And we need to accept it for what it is.
I mean, at this point, I don't see why we can't accept it for what it is, because it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see somebody who has 9 lives have the Hall of Fame talent, and you get people to walk the plank for you who don't necessarily look like you.
Right.
Like, that's the elephant in the room.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like he ain't grow up like you, but he saw something so good in you that he decided, you know what? Let me step out here and walk this plank and not even put my bulletproof vest on. Start shooting at it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna withstand it. So I do believe a piece of it has something to do with the mental health. And I'm not saying that all of it does. I think he is aware, but I would be remiss if I didn't say that, because ain't no way. I'm just saying it's me, but I'm just relating it.
Yeah.
Ain't no way I'm turning down that when you possibly could have got that $1 million in that game. Let me ask you, would you have walked out, or you knowing that you were that close to the opportunity of getting that bread for the game?
Oh no. Nah.
All right, let me even ask you this. Good one. If you're a GM, assuming everything blows over, they cut him. They haven't cut him yet. Do you look at signing him for the upcoming year? Or even if they release him during the playoffs, do you look at signing him, knowing that you have a deficient wide receiving core?
I think,
and this is a real question.
Yeah, you know what? For me, again, I think like this: if typically in any other circumstance, if you have an opportunity to get a Hall of Fame talent going into the playoffs, you know you're deficient at wide receiver, yes, you would sign AB. The difference is this has reared its head again, so it's almost like, why would I trust it? If Tom Brady, Bruce Arians went to bat for a player like AB and he still walked off in that manner, what makes me think that he wouldn't walk off in that manner again? On top of that, you got a 12-year veteran that's carrying on like a rookie. Remember, I said I walked off my rookie year.
Yeah.
Right? You got a 12-year veteran that's carrying on like a rookie. So what does that show your younger players, your younger employees? You showing them like, yo, that's cool, that's okay. If it is mental health, by absolutely all means, address that, get the help, and then yes. But if that's not addressed, just to sign them just based off of this, just to sign them based off of, off the street, nah, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't sign it.
You invest in millions in somebody that simply is. What has he said to make you feel like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna sign this man? From then, and I don't know. Again, we don't know. Maybe something's going on behind closed doors with the league, with the Bills. With the Bucks. We don't know. But what has he said to be like, yo, you know what? All right, yeah, my bad, I'm wrong, or this is what happened, and this is the reason why it happened. So this is why I felt the way I felt. No. So as of right now, absolutely not. And like you said, the Bucks ain't released him yet. He's still there.
He's still there, and right now, I'm pretty sure they're going through the protocol of making sure we don't do anything from a litigation standpoint if it comes down to that. And then they also making sure, it reminds me of, I remember one time back in when I was playing, is one thing, we had a meeting started at 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had another one that started at 9. By 9:15, another meeting started.
Yeah.
So only time I ever was late.
Yeah.
And I was late, got there, and I got fined on like 3 different occasions.
Yeah, because you're late for the first.
Late for the meeting, then you late for another one. You missed the meeting.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, how are you going to nickel and dime?
Yeah.
So now that's what, when you look at it, big picture, that's the reason why I say something got to be wrong.
Yeah.
The dots are not connecting. And that's just my thought on it, bro, because you got a chance to really change the trajectory of like where you come from and your family. Especially, and this is the other thing, man, we 30 plus years old.
Yeah.
Man, these opportunities ain't coming it ain't like you going to the wishing well throwing a penny in now.
Nah, you're not. And he's an older player, like you said, man. Over 12,000 yards receiving, over 80 touchdowns, Hall of Fame talent. And it's like, I'm like, are you walking away from millions? I'm about to walk away from this set. I'm about to do an AB. I'm about to.
What you doing, bro? What you don't take your shirt off, dog.
AB did it?
No. You know what? You coherent. You already said it earlier. You're very cognitive of what's going on.
Man.
So
I wish the best for him, man. I do. Sincerely, I do. And I don't even care about football like that. Like, I don't care about it.
That pains me for you to say that.
I don't care about it being
all of what the game has done.
No.
I don't care about football like that.
No. Let me clear that. I don't care about it being about football for him.
Gotcha.
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, gotcha.
I hope whatever his end goal is, like Deion Grant, like DG said, with him, his family, the kids, because his kids see that. Kids be at the game, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and you know how we feel about our little ones, you know what I mean? So for the people that mean the most to him, for him, whatever his future is, that's what I care about. I don't care about talking about it anymore about on the football field, because clearly that is not what it's about. And that's why we go behind the mask about what stuff is really about.
Man, listen. With that being said, man, let us know what you think in the comments for sure. Keep writing because this is real talk.
Yeah.
Different perspectives, but we all want the same thing for our boy AB.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, make sure you follow, subscribe to the BTM podcast. We dropping one every week. Don't be surprised. Real content.